Let's go to some of your voicemails. You can call our voicemail line 24 hours a day, 219-2-DAVID-P. Here is a question about the credibility fallacy, which I referenced yesterday. Take a listen.
Hey, David, this is Jay. You guys were talking yesterday about the credibility fallacy, where if someone's black or Jewish, they can't comment on something, or a gay judge can't make decisions on gay issues. I was wondering why this doesn't apply to the rich and Mitt Romney with the expiring Bush tax cuts. If you're rich, you shouldn't be able to make decisions on issues involving rich people.
That's a really great point. Now, the difference is that rich is a more shades of gray thing than are you gay or aren't you gay? Are you black or aren't you black? Are you Jewish or aren't you Jewish? That type of thing. So there are some grades, right? In other words, how rich are you type of thing. But it's a good point. It never seems to be brought up, except in very small circles, this idea that, hold on a second, what about rich people making decisions that will affect rich people? That's a pretty valid question.
Yeah, the interesting thing about being rich is perhaps even though you're rich now, you were once poor, and vice versa.
So and yet more gray area with that question. Let's get a listen at one more voicemail here.
Hey, David. My name is Tyler. I'm out of California, and I'm kind of a new listener, but I love the show so far. I listen to it all day at work while I can. But I just wanted to ask what you guys thought on how the federal government will manage Colorado and Washington passing the laws on recreational pot. Because a lot of people are talking about it from a moral standpoint, saying, you know, oh, this is all bad, it's a gateway drug. But I think maybe the federal government will just leave the states alone, possibly in lieu of all the economic crisis we're having, to see what kind of money they'll make off of.
Well, so a couple things on this. One thing, marijuana is a gateway drug because it's illegal and of how people have to obtain it. By definition, you're around people who are likely involved with other drugs and or may also, because of what it means right now in most states to be selling marijuana, may have guns, etc.
Once you remove the stigma from marijuana.
Once you remove the entire paradigm of surrounding it, the entire context in which marijuana exists in most states, a lot of the gateway, it won't be more of a gateway drug than cigarettes would be. Do you guys agree with that?
Right.
Natan?
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay. So as far as how the government will handle it, we don't really know. We heard, when California had medical marijuana, and then we heard from that the federal President Obama would tell the federal government. He initially said that the federal government
not going to authorize any raids.
Should not be raiding, but
he did then authorize them, and he did. There were raids in California, which is ridiculous.
Exactly. So it's hard for me to predict. The thing is, I think when it's one or two states, it's one thing. When this starts to become a trend and people start to realize that, look at cigarettes, ladies and gentlemen, which are legal, and look at the harm that they do, I think that long term, the answer is the federal government is going to have to take a back seat on this.
I agree. Yes. Hopefully, now that Obama does not have to worry about re-election, I think he will probably back off a bit. And we're seeing progress. I think it's good.
On today's bonus show, lifespans in the tropics are shorter, but does it have anything to do with the climate? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about China building the world's tallest building in only 90 days. We'll get Lewis's thoughts on that. And warrantless email reading. Do you assume when you write email that the government is reading that? DavidPakman.com/membership. Sign up, get the bonus show.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.